Mother's Day. She raised her glass and said, I'm proud of all my children, except the loser sitting at the table. Laughter. Melanie snorted into her mimosa. Greg slapped the table. Aaron leaned over, whispered, Come on, man, it's just mom being mom. No one flinched, no one defended me. I was the punchline, again. Funny how I was invisible until they needed something. Breaks for Melanie. Rent for Aaron. A dozen unspoken emergencies they couldn't afford but expected me to handle. I stared at her. At the smug twist of her lips, the sparkle in her eye. She meant it. I hadn't planned to do anything, but something in me shifted. No fireworks, just silence. A clarity I couldn't ignore. I reached under the table, pulled out a black box, and set it in front of her plate. For you, I said, Happy Mother's Day. She blinked. What's this? You'll see. I stood, adjusted my jacket, and walked out. 10 minutes later, I was in her driveway. The luxury car I gave her sat gleaming in the sun, her favorite accessory, her status symbol. She told her friends her favorite child bought it. She never said it was me. I used the second key, got in, and drove away, slow, steady, like I was picking up dry cleaning. She screamed when she opened the box. I didn't hear it, but I imagined it, the high-pitched shriek, the stunned silence that followed. Inside was a single photo. Me, 10 years old, holding a handmade card and a wilted bouquet I'd bought with change from skipping lunch for a week. On the back, I wrote, This was the last time I thought I mattered to you. That wasn't revenge. It was a reckoning. For 2 weeks, nothing. No calls, no texts. Even Melanie's constant social media updates went dark. Then Greg broke the silence. Hey man, that car situation really messed her up. Maybe apologize? Apologize. For reclaiming something I paid for? I didn't reply. I didn't block him either. I wanted to see what came next. 3 days later, Dad left a voicemail. If you're done acting like an attention seeker, we could use help with Aaron's tuition. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my phone. Aaron, the golden boy. Still figuring it out after 6 years, on my dime. I told myself I was done. And I believed it. Until Grandma's birthday. She was the only one who never asked for anything. Her hugs smelled like tea and soap. She gave me peppermint candy and dignity. I went for her. The party was modest, folding chairs, finger food, mismatched napkins. For a moment, I forgot who I was walking into. Until I went to get ice. They didn't know I was near the kitchen. Melanie. He's not family, he's just a wallet with feelings. Laughter. Greg. Feelings don't pay rent. Then Mom. He always makes it about him. We didn't force him to give us anything. And finally, Dad. He did it to feel important. Let him feel small for once. I stood there with the ice bucket, frozen. Then I walked in. Silence, guilt, no apologies. Oh, there you are, we were just. I heard everything. Melanie blinked. Mom reached for me. Don't twist it, sweetheart. You were just reminding each other how useful I used to be, I said. Message received. I stayed, for Grandma's cake. But no one looked me in the eye after that. Aaron handed me a plate like it was a peace offering. Greg tried small talk. They didn't know what to do with my silence. It terrified them more than shouting ever could. But they weren't done. A week later, my bank emailed me an attempted transfer. An old joint account I forgot existed from when I helped Dad refinance the house. I froze the account. Then I drove to their house. I didn't knock. Just stood across the street, hands in my pockets, watching them eat tacos in warm, golden light. I wasn't in it, but I used to be. Melanie stepped out with the trash and froze. Then smiled like it was any other Tuesday. You're being dramatic, come inside, it's Taco Tuesday. I stepped closer, not too close. You joked about me, used me, tried to steal from me, and now I'm supposed to smile over tacos? She shrugged, families fight. I nodded. Some fights end. Then I walked away. I leaned in. No, families break. Then I turned and walked away. She didn't follow. The next morning, she texted. Don't do anything crazy, you'll regret it. She was right about one thing, I was about to do something crazy. But regret? No. Because I finally saw it clearly. I was never their family. I was their strategy. And that game was over. A week before it all went down, they messaged me. We miss you. Let's do Mother's Day right this time. I waited 3 days. Then I replied. Fine, one dinner, just family. They thought I was crawling back. That the silence, the car, the black box, it was all some tantrum. That a hot meal and a fake toast would pull the strings and make me dance again. I showed up at 6 o'clock. The table was set like a magazine spread, candles lit, crystal glasses, napkins folded like origami swans. My mother wore the pearls I gave her years ago. Melanie had on a low-cut dress and that same smug, satisfied smile. Greg sat beside her, as obedient as ever. My father sat at the head, like royalty. Only Aaron looked nervous. We're glad you came, my mother said. Maybe we went too far last time. My father muttered, or not far enough. Family is bigger than pride, right? She added quickly, let's not hold grudges. I said nothing. Just waited. She raised her glass. To turning the page, I'm proud of all my children, even the ones who lost their way. Then a voice from the hallway. Sorry I'm late. Every head turned. And Rachel stepped into the room. Melanie's ex. The one she smeared as unstable. The one she said would destroy her life. The one she lied about endlessly. Melanie froze. What is she doing here? She hissed. She's here for dinner, I said, with the family. Rachel sat beside me, calm and composed. She pulled a small envelope from her purse and set it gently on the table. I've kept quiet long enough, she said. But I was invited here to tell the truth. My father leaned in, ready to shut her down. But Rachel was faster. Mrs. Harris, she said to my mother, in January, over wine, you told me, his emotions are his leash, he pays when he feels guilty. And this? He's not family, he's a strategy. I turned to Melanie. And you? You didn't know I was in the hallway when you said, let him feel small for once. Melanie exploded. She's lying, this is a setup, you need serious help. I cut her off. You want to talk about help? I pulled a printed bank statement from my jacket. Here's a wire transfer, $12,500, from me to you. Approved, but not by me. I slid it across the table. That's not generosity, that's fraud. My father jumped up. This is betrayal, he shouted. We came here to make peace, and you bring this snake? My mother began to cry. But it was all technique, just enough tears to look tragic. I don't know what you want from us, she whispered. I stood. I want nothing, I said. Not your guilt, not your apologies, just distance. I looked each of them in the eye. I'm not your son anymore, I'm your consequence. Then I pulled out a sealed envelope. Inside is the termination of every joint account. Business access, revoked. My name on the trust, removed. Grandpa made sure of it before he died. Melanie, erased. Dad, cut out. I dropped the envelope in front of my mother. This is your inheritance now. Emptiness, just like the respect you gave me. Then I pulled out a photo, me at 10, holding a handmade card and some flowers. The last time I believed this day meant anything. I tore it in two. Placed the halves on the table. One for each of you. And I walked out. No one followed. No shouting, no begging. Just silence. At the door, I turned back one last time. They weren't angry. They were wrecked. I didn't post online. Didn't scream. Didn't gloat. I opened my laptop. And a spreadsheet. 8 days. One accountant friend. A full audit. Not of their lives. Of mine. $14,300, Aaron's tuition, just until he gets settled. He settled into mediocrity. $7,800, Melanie's car lease, still under my name. 3 years later, she never even applied for her own. $2,400, mom's medical bills. Co-pays charged to my insurance, never reimbursed. $18,000, transfers, Venmo, cash, wires. Rent, groceries, just until Friday. $1,650, gifts, a bed for my parents, Melanie spa weekend, sushi for passing one class. Receipts, screenshots, printouts. Everything dated. Everything documented. Total, $44,150. 47. I handed the file to my attorney. Old friend, quiet, precise, relentless. You want the full amount? He asked. Or leave them a little dignity? Every cent, I said. No interest, no drama, just facts. 4 days later, the letters went out. Certified. Subject, outstanding family debt. This is not revenge, this is closure. Total due, $44,150. 47. Please remit full payment within 90 days via certified bank transfer. Oliver Harris. Melanie cracked first. You're kidding, right? You're counting gifts? More texts followed. You need help. You're destroying this family. I didn't respond. I didn't even open them. My father called my attorney, tried the "I'm still your father" routine. Didn't like hearing that blood doesn't erase evidence. My mother? She sent a letter. Cursive, careful, smudged with tears. I gave you life, I prayed for you, and now you send lawyers? No apology. Just guilt. Just like always. On day 21, we filed civil claims. Melanie fired back with a countersuit. Claimed emotional damage. Said I manipulated her into accepting money. She lost, badly. The judge didn't even flinch, just read through the records, transaction logs, texts, written confirmations, then dismissed her case in under an hour. Dad didn't respond at all. 3 weeks later, we filed for a default judgment, lien issued, 2 garnishment warnings, his checking account flagged. Mom skipped court, too, never filed a reply. A week later, her pharmacy card declined, her retirement benefits were being docked, monthly. Just like they docked pieces of me for years. And me? No gloating, no speeches. I just watched my bank app as the payments rolled in. Melanie paid first, probably to stop the bleeding. Dad came second, when he realized the lien was killing his credit. Mom paid last, sold her wedding silver tea set. I heard through a cousin she cried while packing it. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt clean. On the 91st day, I walked into my bank and withdrew exactly $44,150 in cash. Hundreds, 50s, 20s, neatly bundled. I placed it in a matte black lockbox, velvet-lined, and left a single note on top. This isn't money, it's accountability. I didn't send it, didn't burn it. I locked it in a private deposit box. Not as a trophy, as proof that I bought my freedom. Then I donated $5,000 to a nonprofit for survivors of family financial abuse. They sent a receipt and a quiet thank you. That was the only gratitude I needed. No celebration. No new car, no dramatic toast. Just a return to the same desk where, 5 years earlier, I'd skipped dinner to cover Melanie's rent. I sat down, whispered. I didn't want revenge, I wanted my life back. And now it's paid in full. I didn't flee to some new life in Bali or the mountains. I stayed. Same city, same apartment. The change was everything else. No more buzzing phone full of emergencies I didn't cause. No more Aaron asking for just a little help. No more missed calls from Mom pretending to check in. No more cheerful voice notes from Melanie with fake warmth and real need. Silence. Immediate. Glorious. I didn't need noise to prove I'd won. I needed absence to prove I'd escaped. Sleep came easier. My place stayed clean, because I wasn't cleaning up after their chaos. Food tasted better. Music sounded deeper. Even air felt easier. I wasn't free because they changed. I was free because I stopped needing them to. Then the echoes came. An old family friend stopped me outside a store, tight smile. Your mom's not well, I thought maybe. I gave her one look. She tried again. You know, families argue, but deep down. No, I said. Deep down is exactly where I buried it. She blinked, backed off. Later, I pulled a storage bin from the closet. Inside, photo albums, old cards, dusty ornaments. I found our last family photo. I was smiling, but hunched. A guest in my own life. I tossed it. Not in anger, in peace. That same week, I packed 3 pieces of furniture, the coffee table I bought for my parents, the shelf I built for Aaron's books, the chairs I gave Melanie when hers cracked. I donated them. Let someone else sit on them now. Someone who might be grateful. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. Deleted every number linked to them. Mom, Dad, siblings. The cousins who stayed quiet. The aunt who laughed. The uncle who didn't want to get involved. Gone. Not blocked. Erased. From my future. A month later, I passed my father in a parking lot. He was loading groceries into a modest sedan. He looked up, caught my eye. His mouth opened, maybe to speak, maybe to smile. I didn't stop. Didn't slow down. Didn't look back. That silence? Loudest thing I've ever said. A week later, I saw Melanie at a sidewalk cafe. Laughing, performing, a man I didn't recognize across from her. Maybe she saw me. Maybe not. I saw her, and felt nothing. No rage, no ache, no residue. Just air. Like a rerun I didn't need to watch again. The last closure came quietly. I walked into a coffee shop I hadn't visited since last year. The same one where they once laughed while I sat there gutted on Mother's Day. I ordered tea, sat by the window. Same table, same seat. But everything was different. No tension in my jaw. No pressure in my chest. No countdown to the next wound. I looked at the chair across from me, once theirs. Now no one's. Just empty. Mine. I took a sip, watched the street. Smiled. This seat used to hurt. Now it's just mine. They stayed the same. But I didn't. And that was enough.